All right, let's go to William in Lexington, Kentucky. William, how we doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. And you, Dr. John?
Man, I'm getting it. You just made my heart sing a little bit, man. How long have you been in Kentucky?
Since 92.
That's right. Outstanding. Well, brother, how can I help you this morning?
Well, I recently found out, and I'm really upset about this. I recently found out that my middle 30-year-old son is in an open marriage.
Okay. How'd you find out?
Well, one night we were sitting, he was in my home, and we were talking, and he shared that with my wife and I. And
just as was it just as an offsite? Just, hey, what's your favorite movies? Oh, by the way, guys, I'm in an open marriage. I mean, or did he sit down and say, hey, I need to talk to y'all about something?
No, it just popped up like just a little bit of trivia.
Wow.
And the next morning, after I had, essentially settled down a little bit, I told him that I will always love him, but I will never approve of an open marriage. And so that went on for maybe a month. And then I went up to his home, and he and I sat down and spoke. And I prefaced my talk with, I will always love you. You will always be my son. I will respect your wife because you chose her. But I will never approve of your open marriage. And he admitted to it, that he's in an open marriage. And apparently he's been in an open marriage since they've been married for 3 years. And to make a long story short, what he said was, I will go with people that still love me no matter what I do. And so essentially he counseled me out. So my question to you is, where do I go from here?
Where do you want to go, man?
Well, I will never approve of an open marriage.
Right.
My Judeo-Christian beliefs will not allow me to do that. There's just no way in the world.
Hey, brother, I'm telling you, common sense tells you it's not a good idea, right?
No.
Like,
no.
I'm a Christian guy, too. I share your values there, but there's just common sense, right? So
I shared with him that there was a 92% chance they will get a divorce. They will always have trust issues. If they do not have any children, but if they have children, then who's going to be the father? All
right.
Those things. We spoke of all those things.
So let's back out a little bit. This is a hard question I'm going to ask you, okay?
Okay.
Did he come to you to ask for your approval?
Yes.
And so when he sat down with you, he said, Dad, I want your blessing on this?
Well, essentially, before we met the last time, he sent me various articles in support of an open marriage.
Oh, good God. So he's trying to convert you?
Yes.
Okay. So he sought your opinion. You gave it to him. He didn't like what you had to say, and he said, well, phooey on you.
Correct.
Okay. And so when he says, I'm canceling you out, old man, does that mean he doesn't want you to come around? Does that mean he says, I'm never coming to your house, you and Mama's house again? What does that mean?
Yes, that he doesn't want to come to the house. He doesn't want to be around us because in his last text to me, he said that he has Christian friends that support what they do, and that's who he will reciprocate his love to.
Okay. How'd that text hit you?
Well, I would like to meet the Christian friends.
I would too, man. I would too. But put those friends aside, put those thoughts and ideas aside. How did that hit you?
I didn't like it, but I'm not going to sell out to the devil to gain the favor of my son.
Okay. So where you find yourself is this. You've got some principles and values that you're standing firm on. You made a commitment. Yeah. And values and stances often come at a cost. And I don't know that there's a greater cost than losing connection with your son. And I don't think you lost that connection. I think your son asked you for your thoughts and opinions. You gave them. And then he made a decision to walk away. And as a parent of a child, You're a parent. I mean, you're not a parent of a child. You're a parent of a grown man. He's 30, you say?
Yeah. He's 36.
Yeah, he's 36. He's almost 40 years old. He's making a decision to walk away based on, he's throwing a grown-up temper tantrum, saying, I don't want to be around my daddy because I have just different opinions than him. And he's just selecting to walk out. And that leaves you two options. Go running after him and say, honey, 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 or to say, my door is always open for you. My car door is always open. I will get in and come visit you. I'll come hang out. I will love you. But if he chooses to walk away from you, he chooses to walk away from you.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking and that stinks. I mean, you're in an either or choice right now. Actually, you're not, man. I'm thinking this out loud as I'm talking. He's making the call, dude.
Yes. And it's his decision to make.
That's right. So here's what you need to do. You need to, this is probably not a popular thing for older gentlemen in Kentucky, all right? And I just made a gross generalization, and all the people from Kentucky can send me mean cards and letters. I understand. But listen, you are going to have to grieve the separation of your son. Because where this is really quickly going to turn in your heart and mind, if you don't deal with it, it's going to turn into bitterness. It's going to turn into anger. And it's going to be like that old AA saying, which is, you're going to be poisoning yourself hoping somebody else dies.
Correct.
You're going to have to grieve the fact that your son and you have different opinions on open marriages or closed marriages, and that he chose to walk away from you because he didn't appreciate what you had to say. He is choosing friends over dad.
Yes.
And
at this time, that's correct.
I want you to hear me, though, Will. That hurts, and that stinks, and I'm sorry.
Well, yes, it does hurt, but
listen,
I'm a man of principle.
You are, but behind that principle is a daddy.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to miss that, because behind principle and behind values are people. And sometimes we stand really strong on principles, we stand really strong on values, and we ignore that dad that remembers playing catch with his boy. And you got to honor that guy too. It's okay to have principles and values, and it's okay to be sad. Those aren't incompatible, okay? And what I'm telling you is, if you don't honor the sadness, if you don't honor the grief that your son chose to bail on you for a season, and I think you're right, he's going to come back. He knows his old man loves him. I think he's going to circle back. But if you don't grieve that, it will turn to bitterness and it will crush you, okay?
Well, I've shared it with my sisters, and it's not something that I have kept to myself.
Right.
Because historically, I have found when I tend to internalize things not like that, but internalize things that stress me or cause me stress, then it becomes worse. And so, from the get go, I shared with my sisters, and they felt, it just felt good to get it out.
Yes, sir. Good. Stay in contact with them, and don't be afraid to not rally people around to support you, but don't be afraid to, even if you got to text them, it's not the best way to do it, but even if you got to text them, text your sisters, text a friend, an old buddy, and just say, I miss my son today and I'm sad.
Okay.
I'm going to be all right, but today I just woke up and I miss my son. I'm sad. And to all of the dads and the sons and the moms and the daughters out there, man, be careful about canceling relationships, even if you disagree, even if y'all have core virtue issues. Man, love your parents, even if they think differently than you, even if they try to give you wisdom. I know when you're 20 and 30, you think you know everything, and I figure out this new solution to this, and I want to go run and feel good over here. Man, I'm telling you, even if they don't know how to say it right, your moms and dads love you. I have yet to see the data that open marriage solves anything. I haven't seen it. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. I wish people would sit down and have deeper, harder conversations with their spouses about what they want, what they need from one another. That's a whole other different conversation. And that's what this call presented as. That's not what this call was about. This call is about a dad who's got some firm principles, who is honest with his son. Son came to him and said, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about this?" And his dad said, "I think that's not a wise decision, son. I don't think that's wise at all. I think you're going to end up hurt. I think you're going to end up in a mess. And I love you, and I don't want you to be in a mess, and I don't want to see you hurt." And his son threw a temper tantrum and took his ball and went home and said, "Fine, Daddy, I've got other friends who are different than you. They'll let me just do whatever I want, and they'll high-five me and say, 'You do you. You go, you take care of you.'" Man, those aren't friends, man. Those aren't friends.